This video is for my 6th graders, and we will be developing our vocabulary based on the passage we read last week. Okay, so we read Growing Up Around the World. I highlighted some words, or in this case, phrases, that I'd like for us to go over. Ceremonies, rite of passage, global, subtle, journey, mature, consumed, provide, techniques, isolation, transition, symbolically, symbolizes, considered, procession, significance. Although I highlighted a lot of these words, I will go over most of them. So before I go over most of them, I'd like you to rank your knowledge about each word. So decide where you are in your knowledge of each word I flash on the screen. Are you at stage 1? That means you've never seen the word before. Are you at stage 2? That means you've heard it, but you don't know what it means. Are you at stage 3? That you understand it when people are using it in a sentence or when you read it in a book, and you know it has something to do with a word. And stage 4 means you know it very well. It means you can write with it, you can speak with it, and you know its definition. Your goal is to get to stage 4 knowledge of the word. So again, I'd like you to rank how well do you know each word. Ceremonies. How well do you know this word? Are you at 1, 2, 3, or 4? How well do you know the word or the phrase rite of passage? How well do you know the word global? How well do you know the word subtle? How well do you know the word mature? How well do you know the word guidance? How well do you know the word provide? How about the word technique? Isolation, symbolize, procession, significance. How many of these words are ones? How many of these words are 4? You know them very well. You know their definition. How many of these words are 2s? That you've heard it, but you don't quite know what it means. How many of these words are 3? You know they're related to something. So which word goes with ritual, religious, formal tradition, wedding, or funeral? So the word ceremonies is related to these words. They're ritual, a formal way of doing things. So like weddings and funerals are ceremonies. There's ways we do them. A Chinese tea ceremony is a formal tradition on how you pour tea for people or for yourself. Ceremony, change in status, growing up. Those ideas are related to rite of passage. Rite of passage means what happens to show that you are growing up. So for some of us, we celebrate quinceañera, right? It shows that a young girl is growing up into a young lady. There's a ceremony involved. Graduation, when you graduate high school, that's a rite of passage into adulthood. You can go to college, you can decide to get a job, you can decide to start a vocational school. There's a ceremony involved. That's your rite of passage into adulthood. And a long time ago, one part of rite of passage is hunting. So you're growing from a boy to a man by hunting a wild game. Worldwide, universal, all around the world. The word global is related to those ideas. Global means it's all around the world. Sorry, my dog's scratching himself. And it's worldwide. Slightly, quietly, not obvious. They're related to the word subtle. Subtle means it's not obvious. It's slight. So when an investigator is investigating clues or following a lead, they are very subtle. They're very quiet. They don't want the person they're following to know. Here, there's a subtle difference between these two pictures. It's not obvious. You can't see it right away. Did you notice it? It's the tongue. The bear's tongue is different in each picture. It's very subtle. So, to develop, to grow up, to become an adult, all relates to the word mature. So, when we would be lucky if we mature into our old age, right? This shows how a person might mature as they grow. And this picture shows how a plant matures also. So anything that grows develops. Help, advice, direction. These ideas are related to guidance. When you guide someone, you're providing them with help, with advice, or direction. You're supporting them. You're showing them the way by either talking to them or leading them. Give, offer, or supply are related to the word provide. When you provide something, you're giving something. So this doctor provides health care for this child. A parent provides food for this baby, right? This man is providing supply for this community. You can also provide guidance. You can give guidance. You can give leadership to someone. You can provide them with that. Method, a way, procedure. These ideas are related to technique. Okay, so in teaching, there's different type of techniques. You can have a one-on-one technique, that's a procedure, that's a method, or you can have a small group technique where you're teaching a small group. There's also techniques or methods of cooking, of ways of cooking. There's also techniques in a medical field. Alone, separated from the others, secluded, are related to the word isolation. If you're isolated or you're in isolation, you're away from everybody. You can isolate yourself through meditating. Right now, we're experiencing isolation. Hopefully, you're not all alone, but you definitely want to, when you're quarantined, you're separated from the group. But isolation really goes with being alone by yourself. Change, evolve, shift, or switch are all related to the word transition. When you're transitioning to something, you are changing, you're evolving, just like a caterpillar will transition into a butterfly. Or you could even talk about this is related to maturing, right? But transition can be a transition in your job, in your position, right? You could start here at a lower level, then you're transitioning to a higher level. You can transition from a different group. You can be in this group, and then now you're transitioning to a different group, okay? Represent, meaning, signify. All these are related to symbolize. So these are pictures, but they're not just pictures. They symbolize something. So when I see these, it means a warning. Something is dangerous. So these are symbols that has more meaning. When I see this picture, it reminds me of balance. That's the symbol, an Asian symbol, yin and yang, where it's balanced. And this picture is a symbol. It's a musical symbol. March, group of people moving forward, a parade, are all related to the idea of procession. So in a procession, people are moving forward. There could be a religious procession, a funeral procession, or a music procession. So procession is just a march, making sure that people are in some type of a line and they're moving forward. Meaningful, important, value. are related to the word significance. So when you read, you find something important, it's significant, right? Something is important, that's significant. What significance does it have? How important is it? So now we'll go ahead and we're going to try to get you to stage 4, knowledge of each word, meaning I will ask you a question and I'd like for you to answer them using the words. I hope you can join me tomorrow for my online class. The information for that is down below in this video. So let's go ahead and I'm going to ask you these questions. You can click pause and answer them on a separate sheet of paper. Then press play again when you're ready to continue. What ceremonies have you been in? What rite of passage does your family celebrate to show you're maturing? So remember, try using these words in the sentence. So instead of saying, what ceremonies have you been in? Don't just list them. Say a complete sentence. The ceremonies I have been in are, and list those. What guidance can you provide a first grader about being a sixth grader? What study techniques could you teach them? Would you like to be in isolation? Why or why not? What are some things that can symbolize love? What are some things that can symbolize love? Okay, again, don't just list them. Write a complete sentence and use these words in your sentence. All right, hope to see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye. Good luck. Good morning, kiddos. Miss Auda here. Today we're going to be working on vocabulary. But before we get started, I wanted to share with you some information. At the end of the video, I'm going to ask you to share sentences with me tomorrow. And how you will do that is you'll need to join my online class. You see my cat in the background? So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I will be hosting an online class, and the information will be, the information is on my website, and I will put the link to my website down below. I will also put information about my online class down below on this video. So hope to see you guys tomorrow. But for today, go ahead and do today's assignment on vocabulary. Okay, let's go ahead and get started.